Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Heidi, the Potty Mouth Stitcher. Still blind, as you can see. Can't make up my mind if I look scarier with or without the glasses. I guess without, because then I can't see it, right? Anyways, happy March 1st. It is a completely dreary day here in Virginia. It's supposed to be nice, but I guess I read that wrong too. Anyways, it is, like I said, March 1st. Nashville Market is going on as we speak. I know I got my pre-order in, maybe two. How about you? What were your favorites out there? There were so many videos, so many, I mean, it's almost too much to look at. And it's a shame how much money we all have to spend for patterns that we won't even get to start for another year or so, probably, right? But anyways, I know I have my list of favorites, and I'm not going to waste your time talking about them. You'll see them eventually, right? But let me know what yours were. Tell me either on Instagram or down below. I'd love to find out if we're all on the same page or not. A quick mention of another FlossTuber. It's Hoop It Up with Jan. I'm kind of discombobulated today, so bear with me, kids. Hopefully I'll ease into this. Hoop It Up with Jan. She mentioned me in her last video. Bless your heart. I really appreciate it. She was talking about the Annie's Keeper system that I started with all my floss, and she was looking forward to see how I actually used it and if I really liked it. Now, I did just start a new project yesterday for my leap year, and sadly, even though I agonized over floss color, trying to find a transition from one thing to another for hours online, you know, trusting online colors, which is problematic at best, I still just, once I got the colors in the mail, I'm like, you know, I think DMC is going to work with this one, but it was only the one color so far, so didn't really get a... It was nice to go right to it, pull it out of the thing and say, here we go, but really not enough usage to tell you if it's truly a 5-star review on Annie's Keepers. I like it so far, but, you know, really haven't used it. So please stand by, and thanks again, Jan. I really appreciate it. If you haven't found her yet, it's Hoop It Up with Jan. Go check her out. Give her a watch. A like, a subscribe, all the things, right? A little bit of a life update, because ladies and germs, I got all kinds of goodies to show you today. As promised, I dug out all of Mommy's goods, went through them. It was a process, but at least I have some really cool stuff to show you. It's been fun, so I hope you enjoy it. So we'll get through the normal stuff real quick, and that'll all be at the end. So quick life update. A couple weeks ago, my sister and I went back to Ohio. Still working on the house. We're almost done. For 2-3 days straight, it was all about that basement. And Dad's, you know, 50 plus years of hyper organized tools and gizmos and thingamajigs. and a lot of the cousins came over, and they went through stuff and took what they wanted, you know, that kind of stuff. It was neat to see a lot of Blazer stuff go to other Blazer family members. That was just, it's a weird process to go through. If you know, you know. But one more trip back at the end of March for Mom's celebration of life and burial, and final packing of the house, and then we're done. And you know, you're looking forward to it, and you're not, but we know that it's going to a really good couple. They're very sweet, and it's the best we could hope for. So there was that. We got asphalt put down in our garage addition / carport. So this weekend we get to sort it all and put it all back. Yay! That'll be fun. Feel free to stop by and help. Take what you want. And then what else did we do? A lot of work. Oh, public service announcement. I did have my first colonoscopy this past week, and You know, it really wasn't nearly as bad as your mind hypes it up to be. The prep wasn't nearly as horrible as some people will tell you it was, or maybe wasn't for me. I don't know. And I can easily tell you that propofol is now my favorite drug. I mean, what's not to love? Boom, you're done. Lights out. I know that anesthesia said 11:33 when I rolled on in there, and when I was awake, alert, and putting my clothes on, it was 12:06. Not a bad deal. So, if you've been dragging your feet, go get it done. It's not that bad. I promise. One of the few things insurance pays for. Go get it. Anyways, February is behind us. Got all my Whip Go stuff done. Got my heifer board done. I had one little thing to make, one little change up. And that was my Whip Go call for the Village Bookstore. Here she is. I decided this is a Heaven and Earth design, so she's a big girl. And the more I got to playing with it, and the more I started to think about it, it is 450 by 635. Yeah. I have a cottage house. These ceilings are like 7.5 feet on a good day. As you can see, this thing behind me is pretty much half the wall, right? And so I just thought, you know, as much as I love it, if I'm going to put all these hours into it, where would I hang it? You know? So I'm going to UFO it for now. Not going to throw it away. We'll just tuck it away and see how many layers of other cross-stitch archaeology land on top of it, and how many decades it takes for me to unearth it, and how I'm feeling then. But as of now, she's going to take a nap. So that's a UFO. Yay! You know, I feel like I accomplished something. You sit and agonize over these things. You're like, wow, why am I making this a tough decision? But anyways, so goodbye, Heaven and Earth Design. You're gorgeous, but maybe another time. I did have a mini finish. Very excited. And that is in my Frosty Forest. Let me show you. It was the little raccoon cabin. And there's the whole thing. So we have 8 out of 9 done. So I will get this bad boy done, hopefully before June. It's really turning out cute. This was done on 32 count dapple. And it is a country cottage needlework. And it's one of my older whips. I started this in June of 22, I believe. So it's about time. It is about time that she gets done. So, another weird thing I did, because, you know, we've all been watching a bunch of FlossTube because 'tis the season, right? And, you know, everybody needs a little extra motivation as to, or maybe just me, won't speak for everyone. Whip Go and hoverboards and things of that are wonderful because they give you, you know, a focus, a goal, move forward, right? And then I've heard other people discuss the different goals that they come up with, and just kind of, you know, I'm sitting at work, staring at the computer, thinking, I really don't want to look at these emails anymore. So this is what the brain goes to. And I thought, why not come up with my own little goal card? I'm doing all right, keeping up with these project tracker cards that you mark the days that you actually work on them, work on your projects to track all that fun stuff. And then, so then I just made up a goal card. So basically the same, gives you the same basic information. You can, you know, the name of your project, the artist, fabric, if you use the called for, 2/2, 1/2, that type of thing. And then just a bunch of empty, so you come up with your own goals, mini goals. You look at the piece and figure out what you want to do, however you want to break it up, and you go from there. So we'll see, again, It's kind of cool. On some of these bigger projects, I'll show you as the big girls come out, but I just made it a whole sheet and then folded it over so you just had a lot more lines to play with. And it was kind of fun going through that this weekend for all these projects. And I tell you, if you've never really stopped to look at some of those big girls with all the different motifs, like Consider the Lilies or whatever, and try to break it down for mini goals line by line, you see all kinds of interesting little things in there, how intricate they are. So it was kind of cool. So stand by to see if I keep up with this one. But again, the update on the project tracker card so far, woohoo, 2 whole months in, I'm still doing it. That might be a record, right? So there's my mini finish. We start a pile here. Keep track of my notes so I don't lose all my stuff. I'm going to go through whips first, and then I'll do the new starts that I did. I wasn't expecting to do 3 starts this month, but, you know, why not? I got a wild hair, and I went with it. So, next up is inspiration. I have not worked on my favorite project in a long time. I say favorite through gritted teeth. My favorite project. But isn't she beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. Karen Kluba, Rosewood Manor. Look, I made my cute little sheet. Y'all can see just how bad my handwriting is most days. I can't read it. There it is. I tried real hard. This one was a whip go call, so I did my 500 little stitches. A lot of that was the border, and then got down into this little, there's 4 urns, one on each side with flowers, and that's what that is. Let me try to give you a little bit of a close-up. Again, she's beautiful. She looks better every time I see her. And it was easier. This was the first time I had stitched it when it wasn't in a Q-snap, and it was a little bit easier. So she's growing on me. I still like her, but we still have our moments. On the 30th thread change of the day, you know, there's a limit. So I think she will probably always be done 500 stitches at a time. Next up is, I guess I could have had these a little better prepared. Did not have the proverbial poop in a group with this one. Let me show you the decent picture. I'm sure you've all seen it. I just started it last month, and it is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. And because on the last time you saw it, I was debating whether I wanted to stay with the darker fabric than what was done on the model. So this one, I kind of just went with the border. Kind of got on a border kick. But there's what I've got done and the color of it. Because I thought, you know, on these big girls, people are smart. Might as well just take the easy part of the border all the way around and make sure it matches up. And do what you got to do to make it match up. Because, well, stand by. You'll see what I had to do on another one. Because, you know, the more you get into it, you're like, wow, I wonder if this is going to match up. And then it just brings you straight up anxiety until you get it figured out. So, guess that's why I was on a border kick. I'm like, because, you know, it's kind of hard. If the border's off, then, you know, you got to try to remember from one project to the next. I really can't use the border for reference when counting because XYZ LMNOP, right? And, yeah, I don't remember that at all. This one, there we go. Here's one of my big girl cards. So it's Consider the Lilies. Look at all that madness. Those are all just a bunch of mini goals. Because she is a big one. There you go. Consider the Lilies by Heartstring Samplery. You've seen a lot of people working on this, and every time you see it, I don't care what the cloth is, I've never seen one look even mediocre. They all look amazing. This one is done on 46 count cappuccino by Fiber on a Whim, doing 1/2. And again, mainly focused on getting that border done. So went around the corner, didn't really work. I guess it would help if I was actually the right side up. Like a so. Let me fold this up. So I went all the way down and started across the bottom. The light is not the best today, but you can see the colors pretty well. They're so pretty. I really like this one. And highly encourage everyone to go out and start it. That could have been a wonderful start for your leap year project, right? That was my understanding, or my translation thereof, was start a project on leap year that's not a small. Pick one that's going to take a little bit so that you finish it preferably before next leap year, but you know, no one judging here. So don't you know that's exactly what I did. Stand by for that. Next up is another Teresa Kogut, Land That I Love, which is adorable. This one's done on, I think, 36. I lied, 32 count, 10 roof. 10 roof. Take your pick. And again, I went all the way around with that border. And this is where it got a little dodgy. Can you see my top corner? My hoop-de-doo isn't as nice as the other hoop-de-doos. But that's okay. Once I get the pretty little flowers around it, no one's going to know the difference, right? So there she is. She's getting there. This is my oldest whip. I had to think about it. It was May of 22 on this one. But not far. You get a real sense of accomplishment once you get around. And it wasn't too far off, but it wasn't the prettiest come together. I'm very thankful for, like I said, little flower camouflage. And we'll just call it my artistic expression. That who wants 4 even normal corners when you can have 3.5, right? Absolutely. So that was the whips. Next up is my first start of the month, at least. It was a Valentine start. I actually had something kind of Valentine-y, if that's a word. It is now for today. It's Sweetheart Hill. Plum Street. Awfully cute. Look at that. The colors are really, really cute. Love it. It's done on 32 count flax with all the called for goodies. And there she is. Got the dude and the roof outline. That might be a really good retreat kind of stitch since it's a lot of fill in. So we'll see how I progress on that. Probably definitely leave that house for going to a retreat or somewhere where I don't have to have the brain fully engaged the whole time. But that's been really fun. It's a cute little stitch. 32 count, super simple to do. So you gotta like that. So then on the last video, I asked y'all what you thought. I had my kit parade. I showed you about 54,000 different kits. Plus or minus a few. And so I got this, the reminder of this one a couple different times. And I was like, you know what? That's right. I love this one. I had to hunt this one down. I finally found the pattern in Alabama. I was down there this past summer and could not be happier with how it turned out. Just the start. This is Dreaming of Mums by Rosewood Manor. The colors are just amazing. Just beautiful. And so I just did a little top left start. This is on mystery linen, but it's 40 count, doing it 1/2. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this, so I'm sorry. But look at that. Aren't they beautiful? Trying to get you some decent light. Again, since it's so yucky here today. But the variegation on that is amazing. I could not find... So this little big flower, I guess, was supposed to be sockeye. It called for sockeye. I think it was Week Skyworks. Yes. They didn't have it. So I substituted autumn leaves. And like I said, the variegation's beautiful. I mean, to look at it, they're pretty much the same from what we could tell from the picture to what was hanging on the wall. So bless the lady that helped me out there, because I was like, oh no. But couldn't be happier. How beautiful. That, and it's a fun one to stitch. So there's no border. What? I mean, I love me some borders, but since they weren't really my friend the past week or two, it's kind of nice to not have one. And on to the leap year start. Again, I've been looking at this thing for a while. And finally was like, all right, I'm just doing it. They said I need to have a big ass project for a leap year project, so, you know, twist my arm. Like I don't already have 15 of those in the waiting, or 5 or 6 of them already started, but what's another one? This one is not upside down. Everflowering Garden by Owl Forest Embroidery. Trying to give you a little bit of a... The picture is so small. It's because she's so big. It's kind of hard. You're better off Googling it to truly appreciate it. And of course, they wanted you to use Owl Forest embroidery threads, which I couldn't really justify. You know, purchasing the threads are one thing, and then another $50 to ship them, or whatever it was, seemed a bit much. So I opted to stare at the computer screen for entirely too long to figure out, what would be my best bet? So I went over to Cottage Garden Threads because I love their variegation, and it's a little bit more kind of what the Owl Forest looked like. I mean, it's not just the subtle changes in hue, it's more of a true, I'm blending 2 or 3 colors at once. And so I hemmed and hawed and cut and pasted and all kinds of crap. And I did a conversion for 10 of the colors, 10 out of 11, or whatever it is. And then it was trying to find the Cottage Garden threads that I had picked. So Fat Quarter Shop had half of them. And then I got the other half just coming straight from Cottage Garden in Australia. So they've been ordered, but I've not... If I've got notification they shipped, I'm not remembering, but you know, but not a surprise. So I already got the stuff from Fat Quarter, and here's your pretty colors of those at least. And again, I know they have theirs so that you can do your own. Or their packaging is like a floss drop, but I knew this one was going to be around a while, and these I made just to have, they're pretty thick. But if you can see that, that's some serious, beautiful variegation on that. The pickle, that's what this one is. Very cool. But the one I picked for the border because when I was looking at the colors, I thought, ooh, this one really looks like it. And it looked like high country on the website, right? But as you can see, that's mostly brown. But on the website, it looked a lot more like a beautiful variegation of a moss green. Not really. That just looks brown. So with that one, I was like, you know, I want to start this. There's really no easy way around it. So I just went with the called for DMC. And it's 501 is what it is. And I just got the top corner started a little bit. There you go. So this is all 501, but the other two are the cottage garden thread. Beautiful variegation in that though. They're a lovely thread to work with. They're very soft. Again, my first time playing with them. They're very nice. Highly recommend them so far. And like the beginning of the top, I can't speak again. I'm sorry. Heidi, trying to use her words. Take two. They gave you basically the calculation of how to figure out how many skeins you would need, because on the Owl Forest key sheet, they actually had how many stitches of each one there were. So yeah, math, always fun. Still, haven't had to use any algebra or calc that I ever had to take in my life. Still made it this far without using it. So basic multiplication and division was utilized with minimal, I don't even think I even cussed. It was pretty straightforward. So thank you, math. But again, there's another big girl goal sheet. Ta-da. And this is the conversion I did on the back. If anybody's even remotely interested, there's your screenshot. Or you can just ask me below or on Instagram. I'll be glad to share it with you. Might want to wait till I get the other 5 colors and see how it comes along before you rush into it like I did. Just food for thought. But you know, if there's other people out there like me that are just like, that sounds good. Let's jump right in. Belly flop right into the old shallow end, then hit me up. I'll tell you what I used. Alrighty. So that's all my whips. And my new starts. And this is what my February calendar looked like. Pretty colors everywhere. Again, just doing 24 starts and finishes. In 2024, I'm up to 8. So I'm doing all right. And haven't done anything yet today, so I always mark when I do a floss tube just to keep track of them. All that fun stuff. I guess that'll be the first thing that goes on today. But anyways, all right. Now, haul. For the most part, you kind of saw it with the new starts. I'd gotten the fabric for that. I forgot to tell you, the Everflowering Garden is a 40 count antique ivory. I believe it's just a white jolt 1, 2, 3 stitch. I bought a yard of it and it's like, I'm sure I'll use it. Bring it on. And that was pretty much it, I think. And there's nothing else that's standing out at me. So everything else from here on out is goodies that I brought home from Mom's house over the past 3 trips. And have finally gotten through for the most part. All of this is cross-stitch related, so except for I do finally have the Easter eggs that if you've been with me from the beginning, there's a couple things you're going to notice here. That in the very first video I told you that I started out doing Precious Moments cross-stitch. That was the first book that my grandma bought me. I think I probably did them all, kept a few, gave the rest away, that type of thing. And then also, I've mentioned more than once the Easter eggs that Aunt Angie, so if my cousin Amy's watching, because God bless her, she watches these, you tell me, text me, did you guys have these too? Or am I just making that up? I know Aunt Angie made all those Barbie clothes for all of us. Did she make the Easter egg trees, the little baby eggs, whatever, for you guys too? I don't remember. But it was one of my favorite things at Easter time was to go cut a big branch off the lilac tree, stick it in a pot with a bunch of rocks, and frou-frou it up with fabric and Easter grass, and hang all these beautiful eggs on them. It was just really pretty. So I have them all. There's over 30 of them. I don't know that I'm going to go through all 30 of them. You'll get the gist, and then maybe on the next video you'll actually see it up. I don't know if it'll fit there, but we might try. Maybe if I bolt it to the wall so the cats can only do so much damage. I've never seen them up on this. This is actually like a bookcase thing. See? There's bookcase. All my other junk. But we'll see. We'll see where I end up putting it because they're pretty fragile. Some of them did not make the trip or the storage for however many decades, because I can't remember the last time they put these up. But anyways, I digress. So, where to start? How about the first pile of stuff? Like I said, here you go. There they are. Still have the Precious Moments books. And the whole wedding one, I did all of those. I think this was probably the first one. And there's still more. There's another one. She had a bunch of magazines, old cross-stitch magazines. I've not gotten through these yet, but just flipping through, there are some cute stuff on there. There is some cute stuff on there. A good old Leisure Arts Project book. Very similar to the one up there, isn't it? I bet you that is. Is that Paula? Paula Vaughn, looks like it. A candle wicking one. I mean, I won't show you all these. I don't want to bore you to tears. Any other highlights? Yeah, she did have a fairly recent one. We had gone to Craft Gallery like about a year ago. I think that's where she picked this one up because it's a blackbird. And she had the floss. She was ready to go. So I'm sure I'll add that to my immediate collection with my handful of other blackbirds that I've got. I also found this one. Look at that lavender and lace. This one's Angel of Grace. Very pretty. Original packaging. Does that count for anything? I don't know. Some sewing notions. You know it's good. I mean, it's not quite as good as, say, the old butter cookie tin, but when you see a box that looks like this, you know there's something good in it. You see it? Bunch of hem tape, but also all kinds of little bric-a-brac, whatever you want to call it. Interesting stuff you might could use for some finishing. That's why I decided I'd take it. Some hot pink. Oh wait, that's just the plastic. I was like, woo, nice pink. Pretty lace. So stand by. Someday I might finish something. What a concept. And we'll go from there. Now, Mom, she kind of decorated like, I mean, let's face it, like I do. Once something goes on the wall, there it sits. And it just gets to watch life go by. So these were still on the wall. And like I said, Precious Moments much? That's right. Doesn't like that. Messes with the light, doesn't it? There's that one. This one's a super hot mess because of all the stains on it. Oh, there's my initials. 87. I was 16 years old. Look at all this. I'm going to pull this thing out and see if I can get rid of the stains maybe. I don't know. And then I remember doing this one in college. Just because I remember a summer job I had where that's pretty much what I did, because you were basically just watching a door through through all night long, letting people in. Look at all those cute Siennas. That was fun. That pretty much took all summer. And then hung in the same, well, no, I think it actually changed from the living room to the dining room over the years, but, so this was early 90s. Just came off the wall. Now, Mom did this one. I think I started it. Much like that one. I started it. Mama finished it. And this is a P. Buckley moss. Isn't that pretty? Sorry for the glare. That was neat. I probably stopped as soon as I got into that crazy background of all white and gray. And I was like, I'm done. I don't know who did this one exactly. I think she said it was, I think it was her mom. I think it was Grandma Frida. It needs some help with the, maybe I'll reframe it someday, but those are actually beads. It's pretty. I have no idea whose design that is. I got nothing. But it does look like something Grandma Frida would do. But again, sorry Mom, I don't remember. Now Mom, later, she loved doing the diamond painting. And she probably had 20 or so of them finished. Now, both Holly and I had gotten gifts because she would finish them and Dad would frame them. Much like this one. But he did a simple frame on these. And this one was still hanging up. And I don't see too many like this. It is pretty. Because it's slightly different. So it's more of the jewel tone one than the strict diamond painting. And again, he did just a simple frame on it. Looks like, what are those called? Furring strips for the most part. But I might hang that up out in my she shed with my other one. The other one she made me was a black kitty cat. I think Holly got some, hers were roses, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. Anyway, what's next? Going into the giant basket of goodies. I did find a few hoops. She had just a couple. Anybody need a hoop? They're nothing exciting. They're all just regular hoops, but she did have a couple. I figured these small ones, Mike could use those for finishes. And even some of the bigger ones, they're not super huge. I think the biggest one might be 8 inches or so. Not bad. Oh, but wait. There's another one. There's some more. Now, other projects she had started. I think, now my sister says she never cross-stitched, or she did, but she wasn't good at it. That would be the only thing Holly isn't good at, apparently. And I'm thinking she's just being modest. But I did find it. Pretty certain this was her start, because my sister loved horses. So this is one of the carousel horses, Spring. And here she is. This is what's been done, and probably where it's been since the 90s. Maybe late 80s. So, I think it's viable. It looks like it's probably 18 count Ada. That maybe I'll try to finish this someday and give it to my sister. So then she can have something. that Mom had done. That's the plan. Shh, don't tell her. I don't think she watches these. So I should be safe. So Amy, don't tell her. What else we got? So for the longest time, Mom worked at a senior center. And they, of course, had a huge craft room. And I think on Mondays, I'm sorry, but this is distracting. Ugh, hair. Anyways, and like on Mondays was their craft day. And a lot of times she would bring home stuff that, you know, everybody, it's kind of like at a retreat where everybody has the kind of grab swap table, whatever you want to call it. So she would bring home stuff that other people had brought in. She's like, oh, I'll finish that. And she probably did finish about 50 projects over the years and took them back. And then they would have garage sales and, you know, fundraisers for the senior center. And that's pretty much what happened with them. And that was, she had something to do, and they all benefited from it. That's kind of the thing. And then so I just assumed that's where a lot of these projects from here on out kind of came from. Not all of them, but at least definitely this one. I'll show you this picture, but I don't know how you're going to see it. This was the picture that came in the kit. You tell me if you can see that. Yeah, I can't either. But here it is. First of all, it's this big. But, and I don't know if she did this or someone else. So cute little Amish. Look at all those cute canned goods. Garden goodies. And I guess there's the bottom of it. So, and it has all the floss, you know, and the pattern and whatnot. And of course, thank God Mom blew it up, because this was the pattern. Teeny tiny. Like, good Lord, people. Must have been a 20-something that printed that thing. Anyway, so, I will definitely finish this someday. I think it's pretty, it's cute. Somebody got it halfway done. Why not finish it? So, it's on the someday list. And then she had a couple of the random Thomas Kincaid. I don't know about this one. I mean, you can see where someone has done something, but since it's all kind of printed, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of confusing. And there's only a little bit of floss with it, and it doesn't really tell you what it was. So you can tell it was a kit of some sort. So there may not be any salvaging that. I don't know that I'd want to anyways. Again, I just got rid of a full coverage. Why the heck would I bring on another one? I don't know. And again, last year we had gone over to Findlay to Craft Gallery, and Mom had picked up that Blackbird design. She had gotten a Mill Hill. That's cute. Are We the People by Pickle Barrel. And another Pickle Barrel, Mrs. Kringle's Cookie Company. I don't think I'd ever really seen that one before. That's cute. I like the peppermint border. And then Mom loved sparkly things. So she found her some fabric. It has a little sparkle to it. So I'll have to use it on one of those. Again, here's one of the old project bags done by some random chemical company. These, I'm guessing, are, yeah, they are. They're just not sewn yet. Old pillowcases. Embroidered pillowcases. Now I can tell you, back home, I don't think I have one. I think they're all still at home. We have several. I mean, I grew up with these embroidered pillowcases all the time. I think Grandma had done them, and I can guarantee you they're still there. Holly, pardon me, already has one of the cross-stitched quilts that they quilted. And then I think she took the other one that we found it's cross-stitched, the blocks, but it's not pieced as a quilt yet. So we figured we're still going to continue to do our sister trips back to Ohio so that we can still see the family that's there, and that maybe we would bring that along and get it pieced and, you know, quilt it together. And that would be pretty. And then I got two that are like this. It's kind of hard to see, but that's more of a basket of flowers. I don't embroider, but I know people that do. And I don't know if this is something I'd ever do, but you know, again, it will go into that layer of cross stitch or random needlework, and we'll go from there. All right, kids, one more bucket. A lot of this is just more fabric that I hadn't found before. More Ada. It was $2.23 at Hex. Anybody remember Hex? I'm from the Midwest. I vaguely remember a Hex. Ooh, 25% off, and it was $1.70 back in the day. Those were the days, huh? Here's a Bucilla. I actually kind of like this one. It's pretty. Pretty little sampler. It's kit, of course. This one was impressive. Can you hear it? So, of course, it's Mill Hill. It says antique borders and beads. Pictures are very dark, so it's kind of hard to see what we're really looking at there. But look at this. Look at the beads. I don't know how much this bad boy was back in the day, but can you imagine what it is now? Here's your $50 kit. Which I guess, the grand scheme of things, knowing what I just dropped on cottage garden threads, that's nothing. But I may try that. We'll see. One of the small ones. I like that they have even the super teeny tiny things. That would be kind of cool. So we'll see. And like I said, there were a couple more Thomas Kincaids. Anybody out there interested in any of these, you just let me know. Or maybe it'll be a giveaway at some point, because I don't see myself... I mean, again, see, it's super printed. I don't know if that's something I really want to dive into. But if it tickles someone else's fancy, let me know. I'll be glad to send it to you. Again, some more Bucilla projects, and these are table runners. I don't know, but I'd kind of like to go back to the days where we actually used china and silverware and punch bowls and table runners. I feel kind of cheated that I was too young to appreciate what it was like to have real gatherings, you know, as an adult, how to prep for those, the fun and joy of putting that together. It's a shame. It's just not a thing we do all that much. I wish we could get back to that. And here's a little dimensions kit. Again, I'm pretty certain these all probably came from the Senior Center stash. Say that 5 times fast. Senior Center stash. What'd I say about sparkly things? I don't know if you can pick up the sparkle on that. A little bit of foil, metallic to it. Here's just some pretty fabric. I thought maybe for some finishing. This seems appropriate, very Eastery. And again, there is a sparkle to it. Maybe you can see it. And that screams Mom all the way. She loved bright colors and anything purple. Holly got the majority of the fabric. Like I think I'd said that before. She's more of the sewer of the group. I've made quilts, but you know, straight lines and handwork. That's pretty much what I see quilts as. All right, we have made it. I'm just going to show you the group of these Easter eggs. There's a lot. Again, this must have been the thing. I don't ever remember not having these. I have no idea how old they are, but this is the, you know, they're real eggshells. They were blown out and then decorated. Some infinitely, I mean, okay, here, let me just pick this one up. Fabergé got nothing on this thing, okay, other than a couple $1 million worth of jewels. But but other than that, look at that little bunny. And all the little flowers in there. I mean, it's even colored on the inside. Impressive. And she just did little wire hangers because I think on the bottom that's covered. On some of them you can actually see, like here, this little guy was broken. Obviously did not survive being in a box. But what it does do, see there's the bottom with the little button. And obviously the little button at the top where the wire comes out. You can kind of see how she finished it. And that's something I had never really thought about. So the wire went all the way in. She picks up the button and comes back in and glued it. Well, I don't know how she glued it. Anyhow, she probably just pushed some through. But anyways, and that's to keep the, you know, the hanger fast. But then, good Lord, she painted that. Look at those bleeding hearts. That's ridiculous. Again, see the blank wall behind? I can paint that. I can paint something one color. And that is the full extent of what I can paint. How about that? Is that not adorable? Cute little Easter basket. Try to stick with some of the more original ones. I don't know where she got, whether she cut those out of, say, Easter cards or what. I don't know. Here's a little Jesus with the lamb. See if it'll focus. With the pretty flowers on top. And these are like fabric flowers. Here's another one she just painted. With the pretty little flowers. I thought this one was super cute. Look at that little snail with the googly eyes. But again, I just can't, I don't know if I'd have the patience to do it. I'd love to try it though. It is so cute. What else do we have? Some that are cut out on both sides. If I get my ugly mug out of the way, you might be able to focus on that. And again, she even has flowers up in there. It's crazy. And when you sit and look at them now, I mean, back when you were a kid, you're like, oh, those are pretty. But now you're like, how did you do that? Here's another one that it's like takes detail to a whole new level. I don't know. And some of it is like, dear God, what is that? You know, there's a level of gaudy there, but it's still beautiful, you know. Here's one with a little butterfly in it. And poor dried flowers getting mauled. Uh-oh. This one again did not appreciate being stored. Pretty little bird. Oh my goodness. Look at that little bunny. So let me know in the comments, who else did these? I've had other comments in other videos when I've mentioned it. They said, oh, I remember those. So clearly this was a thing. I would love to see your pictures. I'm going to take pictures of some of these and put them on Instagram so that maybe others will share some of theirs. He's kind of the worst for wear. Look at the little bird. He's one-eyed. Cyclops bird. It's okay. We know you're old. It's the way I feel too. Oh, look at this little guy. It's a little chick. Little fuzzy chick in there. That's adorable. I'm a sucker for these. I've always loved them. And now you guys won't have to hear me talk about them ad nauseum anymore because you've seen them. This is it. Is that pretty much all of them? I mean, like I said, there's variations on a theme. There's this little chick. And again, they're colored on the inside too. It's just impressive. Thank you, Aunt Angie, or whoever these came from. I just always had it in my head that it was Aunt Angie, so. I guess she ran out of other birds. Look at that. Gorgeous. Super duper detailed. And then chicken! There's a little chicken. I mean, we had to pay homage to the chicken. We're using all their eggs, right? So it's the least we could do. Some of them just had ribbon. That must have been some killer, what was that? Eileen's glue, maybe? This is way before hot glue came along. So, alright kids. I don't know how to show that one. I would have been cussing. How do you keep all that even remotely straight? Sorry. There's no way. I guess maybe it looks kind of wonky on the back because it's got to pay the price somewhere for it being fairly even on the front. But anyways, I digress. So that's basically it. There was all kinds of goodies. I think that's everything. So thanks so much for hanging out with me for this past hour. And probably see you here in probably a couple weeks. Maybe I have no current plans for any new starts, so maybe I'm just going to buckle down and get some stitching done and maybe get the Frosty Forest done. That would be nice. And go from there. But I hope this finds you all well. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Again, let me know what you waiting for. What did you already order from Nashville? And what are you going to start first once you get it? Any other comments, concerns, bad jokes? Feel free to share those below too. I always like reading those. And y'all take care, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye now.